ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. So we started this chapter where we were looking at the Dharana Yoga, which was explained in the previous chapter, and we found that to be a very difficult one to practice. So the question was that what is it that we can do with greater ease and understand that Param Tattva. And that's how we started this chapter, the 9th chapter. And immediately Bhagwan says that सब कुछ वासुदेव ही है और आत्मा ही ये समस्त जगत है एंड ब्रह्म अद्वितीय एक ही है, ये पहले भी मैंने कहा है. जो ये समझ जाता है तो उसके बाद में और कुछ समझने की आवश्यकता नहीं होती. पर ये सब जानकर किस प्रकार से क्या है मैं फिर से समझाता हूँ. So he says that this particular Gyan is very, very bright, brilliant. It's Prakash. It throws light on everything. It is also very pure in the sense that not only does it throw light and therefore remove all the natures of ignorance, andhakar, but it is also something which removes impurities of this janma's karmas and whatever you have done over your previous lives, all of them vanish or get dissolved automatically once you understand this particular Gyan. And that's the great thing about it, that's the pure thing about it, which I'm going to share with you. Then he goes on to explain that those who are without any Shraddha, they will not understand this. Only those who have Shraddha can. And therefore, those who are without Shraddha, they are people, they will keep on taking birth in this and the next so many births, and they'll keep coming and going. But if you have Shraddha, then you will start understanding and will start following it. And over a period of time, you are likely to get rid of this particular bondage of birth and death. Then Shlok 4, he talks about that because everything tends to get its ability to do things, to be able to live, the life force, because they are considered आत्मवान. आत्मा से वो आत्मवान होते हैं, इसलिए सब लोग समझते हैं कि सब मेरे में ही है, क्योंकि उस आत्मा से ही वो सबके सब आत्मवान हो रहे हैं. आत्मवान मतलब कि दे आर गेटिंग दैट लाइफ फोर्स. यदि हमारे में आत्मा नहीं होती तो हम शायद इन आँखों से देख नहीं पाते, ये सब जितनी इंद्रियां हैं उनसे हम कुछ कर नहीं पाते. इट इज पार्ट ऑफ द अंडरस्टैंडिंग विच वी कैरी, दैट दिस आत्मा इज द लाइफ फोर्स विच इज ड्राइविंग द एंटायर बॉडी, द सिस्टम, एंड दैट इज द थिंग वी अंडरस्टैंड इवन इन द नेचर ऑफ द क्रीचर्स विच आर देयर. जितने भी जीव हैं वो सब इस प्रकार से ही दिखते हैं, मगर वास्तव में वो सब मेरे में नहीं है. और किस प्रकार से नहीं है, उन्होंने कई तरह से बताया हुआ है पहले भी, कि वो निर्विकार होने के कारण उनमें कुछ निर्विकार नहीं होता. अंजू जी, हाँ जी, आज ऊंचा बोलने का मन नहीं है. एक बारी उन्होंने बताया कि क्योंकि मैं निर्विकार हूँ इसलिए किसी से जो है जुड़ता नहीं हूँ. अब यहाँ पर कहते हैं कि वो संसर्ग रहित है, तो असंसर्ग होने के कारण, असंसर्गी होने के कारण वो किसी से चिपकते नहीं, जुड़ते नहीं, छुआ नहीं जा सकता, उनको कुछ किसी भी हमारी इंद्रियों से उसको हम स्पर्श नहीं कर सकते। ठीक, तो इसलिए वो संसर्ग रहित होने के कारण आप उनमें यदि हैं भी तो किस प्रकार से है, जैसे वायु रहती है आकाश के अंदर, असंसर्ग रहित। आकाश जो है उससे ज़्यादा बड़ा है, फैलाव में सब तरफ है, और जो वायु है वो उसके अंदर सीमित रहती है, उस प्रकार से रहती है। पर आकाश और वायु में कोई संसर्ग नहीं है, कोई अटैचमेंट, कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है। ठीक है, फिर यहाँ पर बात आगे बढ़ी तो उन्होंने कहा कि यदि सब कहा जाता है कि मेरे में है और वास्तव में मेरे में नहीं है, तो मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ कि मैं उनमें नहीं हूँ। इसका भी एक बारी पहले उदाहरण आया था कि मैं उनमें होने का अर्थ होता है कि वो मेरे को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। कोई चीज़ मेरे में होती है तो मैं उसके, वो मेरे आश्रित होती है, मैं उसको कंट्रोल कर सकता हूँ। तो उस प्रकार से भी नहीं, जब वो संदर्भ आया था, जब कॉन्टेक्स्ट आया था। अब यहाँ पर भी उन्होंने कहा क्योंकि ये संसर्ग रहित है इसलिए मैं शरीर में भी नहीं हूँ। तो किस प्रकार से हूँ? जैसे घट में आकाश सब जगह से है उस प्रकार से हूँ। मान लिया जाता है कि घट के अंदर जो आकाश है, क्योंकि रूप है घट का, उस कारण से जो है उसको मान लिया जाता है कि वो उसके अंदर है आकाश। मैं भी अपने अज्ञान के कारणवश इस शरीर को मानता हूँ और उस शरीर के अंदर उस आत्मा को मानता हूँ, अज्ञानवश। शरीर ही अज्ञानवश मानता हूँ, तो शरीर के अंदर जो है वो भी अज्ञानवश ही मैं मानता हूँ। ठीक है, ठीक है, लॉजिक इज क्लियर, pretty clear. You want me to repeat it again? You will see it again in the first 5 minutes of this particular session, right?
I think you should repeat it.
Okay.
It will be good.
So there are two things which have been said in shloka number 4 and 5. One is that I am in, or is it? हाँ, संसर्ग रहित होने के कारण सब प्राणी जो हैं वो मेरे में स्थित हैं, वो नहीं है, स्थित माने जाते हैं, ठीक है, परंतु है नहीं। और इसी तरह संसर्ग रहित होने के कारण ना ही मैं उनमें स्थित हूँ। स्थित क्यों नहीं हूँ? क्योंकि जिस प्रकार से घट के अंदर हम जब घट का रूप देखते हैं उस कारण हम कहते हैं उसमें वायु है, वास्तव में तो वायु है, सभी जगह है, उस कारण उसके अंदर वायु है ऐसा नहीं है। उसी प्रकार से आत्मा सब जगह है, आत्मा मेरे शरीर में है वो मैं मानता हूँ, वास्तव में तो सब जगह है, इट इज ऑल परवेज। ठीक है, इज इट ओके? माय हिंदी वाज नॉट टू डिफिकल्ट? इज इट ओके फॉर यू? Each of these concepts you have to understand by yourself with your own logic. There are many logics which are given as we read, but you have to adopt a logic which is working for you.
If Atma is everywhere, then why is it not in me? Why does Bhagwan say that?
Because it is saying that it is without any sansarg, without any attachment. That is the only thing.
In that context.
In that context. So just like the air is there in the sky, this is also all over the place, it is immersing everything, but it is not touching anything. Okay. Are you hearing me? Or should I speak louder? It's okay. Or you want to come in front? We have seats here. Okay. Then we went to look at there is a question which is asked that then why do people say that ye meri atma hai? How do they say it? Okay, they say it because they have through their own ignorance, superimposed this body on that Atma which is existing everywhere, and then said that in this body, it is my Atma. I was giving that example a little earlier. So I first imagined that there is a body, and that body I have then said that this is superimposed on something called the Atma by my own thought, by my own ignorance. And through that process, I have created this context where the Atma is supposed to be within the body. Okay. But then he talks about in the Shloka 6 expanding on how the air is not, the Vayu is not having any contact with the sky, which we have already touched upon. And then he goes on to say, but I am the person who's created this entire thing. Okay? That you should not forget. Everything else you may understand to be is an illusion or it is out of your own ignorance, but understand that I am the one who is creating it. How am I creating it? Because I create Prakriti, which is that apara nikrisht Prakriti in shloka number 7. And through that, all the creatures are one by one taking place. And when they get into place, I am uh, I give them birth again and again, and even if it is so that there is the end of this entire universe, then also I bring them back into existence based on their own karmas, previous karmas. So he says, I create them again and again. So if you're creating them again and again, and they're all very different, then you must be favoring some, and you must be right. That was the question we saw in nine. So he says, no, I'm a person who is removed from all this. As I told you, I am without any contact. I have no relationship, and I have no bhav or no feeling or no sense in myself that I am the one who is the doer, who is creating it. I just, through the inspiration which the Prakriti gets from me, Prakriti comes into existence, and then this manifests itself through the Prakriti and with your own prarabdha. Right? We saw some of that, right? Is it clear? That part is clear, or should? Hmm? Yeah? Okay. So once we understand that he who is creating this is not the doer, and he has got no attachment to each of us, he has no bondage which gets created for himself, and he says this is true for anything which anyone does in this existence. So if we also perform actions without any attachment to the outcomes, and we also are not having this ego that I am the doer, then I will also not get bound by the actions which I perform, because the entire bondage is arising out of the karmas which we do, and karmas have to be done. There is no option. We can't escape karmas, which we saw, which has been repeatedly said, right? But those karmas, if they have to bind us, if we have to have bondage because of them, then we have to understand how to get rid of that bondage. This is what he's explained. We came to Shloka 10, and that is where we will start again. We went through some one third or one fourth or half of it, but we rushed through the rest, and so we'll start again, right? So, can somebody read it and I'll interrupt him?
Yeah. Okay.
Probably, yeah.
So we're reading 9, 10.
10, 10.
Yeah. That which is by nature in the form of witness and immutable, inspired by that me, the sustainer, Adhisthata. This Maya with its three gunas, Prakriti, gives birth to or creates this entire animate and inanimate world.
Okay, so this we just spoke about because we had covered it last time. So the entire world gets created by this Prakriti, okay, which has been put into place by that inspiration, as he uses the word here, and in some other cases it will be given as it is through my own power, my own shakti, that I create this illusion. Okay, so we go forward. Yeah.
Is there a difference between creator and sustainer?
Yes,
Because here he's saying this
I create and then I
creation is being
sustain.
done,
And sustain
but
my.
then the reference is to the sustainer, the Adhisthata.
Yeah. So Adhishthan means it is the base, it's the basis, it's the subsistence, it's the it's subsists in itself in that. Okay. For example, for the plants and the trees, the Adhisthata is the Prithvi. It's based in it's okay. In a sense, in a similar sense, the Adhisthata of this entire universe on which it is based is Ishvara. Okay? Some basis has to be there, which we have hypothesized also, in a sense, with certain characteristics as well. Okay, unchanging, does not die, does not get killed, Nitya, eternal, Avinashi, cannot be destroyed, unchanging, Nirvikar. Okay,
Can you have a base which you cannot touch?
yes.
And there is not it's not a foundation or a base. It's
So
a concept.
it is at this moment a concept, but it becomes real by itself as you go forward. You'll realize, because if that is not there, the existence does not come into place. Okay. At the end, what will remain is that which is that subsistence which is there. Okay.
It's like sand in a mirage, right?
The sand will
The water
remain.
can't touch the sand. Is it so?
Yeah, yeah, it is right. So when you see an illusion of a mirage, okay, you see the water and you remain in the water and you focus on it and you don't see the sand. Okay. Even if it is visible, you can't see it because you are in the. It's the same thing as what we talk about being in the dream. You can't see yourself as a dreamer. Usually not. Occasionally maybe.
And yet there's no water without the sand. That's why it's the base,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Correct. Absolutely.
And the thirst.
Yeah.
And the water is there because of the thirst, ignorance, and desire.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat convoluted
No,
in
but
that
it's like
sense.
that's how the body is there. There's ignorance and desire.
So
There's
what
no
is the
water.
basis then? What is the firmament?
Firmament is Brahma.
Correct. Absolutely. Sachidanand Swarup. Okay. So we'll go forward.
Okay.
Let's read the next line. Or
In
two.
the Ved mantra, also it is said, in all beings, there is only one Deva who is invisible, who is all pervasive, and the inner self of all beings and supervisor of all karmas, the basis of all beings, witness, consciousness, pure and without attributes.
Now, this is each of these words in this sentence are very, very powerful. They need to be understood, carried forward as you go along. Okay. Just now we are going to skip it because we have many more things to. But what is important here is it is invisible. Adrishya bhav. It is drishya doesn't mean only the eyes. Okay. Okay. It means all the five senses. That's what it's referring to. Sarvavyapi, which is all pervasive. It is in the antaratma. It is the antaratma of all the creatures. Okay? And things like those, which are very, 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 very important and subtle. And still, we are saying it is without any good, without any attributes. Please go ahead.
He is son of Kunti. For this reason alone, I am its supervisor, Adhyaksh. Hence, this with the animate and the inanimate, the entire world which is with form and formless, is changing into all its states. Because the entire propensities, pravritya, of the world are only meant to be objects of knowledge, jnana, of the witness consciousness.
Okay. सो सारी जगत, क्योंकि जगत की समस्त प्रवृत्तियां विच आर प्रोपेंसिटीज साक्षी चेतन के, साक्षी इज दैट इज विटनेस, चेतन कॉन्शियसनेस, चेतन के ज्ञान का विषय बनने के लिए ही है. सो ऑल दीज प्रोपेंसिटीज विच वी हैव एग्जिस्टिंग इन दिस जगत are only to help you attain that gyan of what? Of that Sakshi Chetan. Okay? Which we have read and talked about in the past as well. And again it is getting repeated. जो ये जगत बना है, किस लिए बना है? ये एक साधन रूप है सत तक ले जाने के लिए. ठीक है, वही चीज यहां पर दोहराई गई है, राइट, विद लिटिल डिफरेंट वर्ड्स. क्योंकि जगत की समस्त प्रवृत्तियां, ऑल प्रोपेंसिटीज, इट्स नॉट इवन टॉकिंग अबाउट एक्शंस, प्रोपेंसिटीज, इवन intentions, thoughts, feelings, whatever. Okay, for example, the seed of the tree has the propensity to grow into a tree. Okay. That itself is basically a way to understand, a path to understand what is that Sakshi Chetan, that witness consciousness. Okay, and that is why we use those examples, but actually there is nothing like that which can be done to attain that, right? It is only to get us to understand what it may be, what it is perceived to be by those who are seers of it, okay, who are in know of it. May, please go ahead. I would otherwise go on with Hindi.
I will eat this, I see this, I hear this. I experience the specific pleasure, experience pain. I will do the specific thing for them, will do the specific thing for this, will know the specific thing, etc. All the propensities of the world are under the capability of knowledge and culminate in knowledge, jnana itself.
Right? Is this sentence clear? Last sentence. All these propensities are. Read that aloud again, please.
All the propensities of the world are under the capability of knowledge.
Yeah, so you can understand them. Which knowledge is this? This is the knowledge which is arising out of these five senses and the three man, buddhi, ahankar. Man, buddhi, chit, ahankar, whatever. Okay?
And culminate in knowledge.
And they culminate into that final knowledge. Right? So one knowledge is that of knowledge which is through our senses, and the other knowledge is that which is the ultimate knowledge. Yeah, please.
That supervisor of this world, witness, consciousness, is based in the supreme sky, etc. Mantras also indicate the above.
Yeah. Please go.
Shall we carry on?
Yeah.
Thus, the one Lord, supervisor of all, pure consciousness, is in reality unrelated to all worldly experiences. In absence of any other conscious being, there is no other experiencer. Then, for whom is this creation? This type of question and its answer, both these do not arise, meaning that subject is indescribable or inexpressible.
So don't go to the last line, but before that.
Then, for whom is this creation?
Yes. For whom is this creation? If
The witness.
if that witness, supervisor, consciousness, okay, is without any relationship. It is not related to anything in the universe. And it is also that there is no other such witness for whom this creation could be. So then, for whom is this creation? And this question is in rhetoric, and that's why the answer is being given as it is. There's nothing to say about it. अनिर्वचनीय है.
It's an illusion. That is what why.
Why?
Yes.
For whom has it been created?
But
It
it's
has been created for people like you and me.
me.
For ignorance and desire.
Yes. That is the answer. What is the point in giving that answer when we should realize that this has been created for us? Why it has been created was answered earlier, but for whom it has been created has cropped up here. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, please.
Who knows this directly? Who can say about this subject? Where did this world come from? Why has this creation been done? Etc. Mantras have said the same thing. Besides, Bhagwan has also said, ignorance is covering or veiling knowledge, therefore all beings are in delusion.
Are in delusion. Right? So he has covered all these questions which have been asked just before this last line by saying that all beings are, through their ignorance, they are in a delusion. So, what were those questions? And if we can try and understand how they are arising, and those answers are all in delusion. Those questions are: इसको साक्षात कौन जानता है? Who knows this ultimate? Okay? ये जगत कहाँ से आया? किस कारण ये रचना हुई? So, if you go into the depth and what is that's being indicated by the last line, each of these questions are answered by the thought, by what has been given there, that we, because of our ignorance, are living in a delusion. Therefore, we ask these questions. Otherwise, these questions don't exist. The point from where we are asking the question, we are in ignorance. What is the purpose that whether the Jagat exists or not? To the person who knows that Jagat is just an illusion. What is the purpose? ये कहाँ से आया? किस कारण इसकी रचना हुई? Okay, so only people who have illusions like us, we are in delusion, can ask that question. Otherwise, these questions are not existing.
Yeah, because we who is asking are not existing.
Not that. We who are whatever manifested at this moment do not know the ultimate truth. And we are living in ignorance and delusion. Therefore, we are asking these questions. Who's asking these questions? Only an ignorant can ask that question. A Jnani cannot. We go forward. 11.
Even though I am eternally pure, omniscient, liberated, free natured, and Atma of all creatures, still, the foolish, non discriminating people show disrespect, avagya, another, to my great form of Ishwar of all the worlds, meaning everyone's own form of Atma, me, Paramatma, the great Ishwar of all beings, and immense like the space, but subtler and pervasive. Because they fail to know this ultimate supreme essence, me, Paramatma, they treat me, who has taken the form of a human body, as insignificant. Therefore, due to this feeling of disrespect or contempt for me, these vain beings are lying dead.
What does that mean, lying dead?
He is telling Krishna that these people who do not believe or think I am there and seeing me in a body of a human being treat me with disrespect and do not believe that I, the Lord, exists. Okay? They are lying dead on the battlefield. He has, for the first time, pronounced that those who do not know me, have not understood me in my human form, in Mahabharata as a whole, are all dead. They are going to die. They don't understand me, so there is no option but to. If they don't understand me anyway, they are dead. And that's what he's going to say next. People who don't understand me are, in a sense, anyway dead. They will take birth again, they will die again. They have no future. Here it is a categorical, direct indication to what he'll say later on, that this is how all of them are now dead. I have already killed them. Only in the manifested form, I have to use you as a tool to make it happen, to seem to make it happen. Okay? He says that in chapter 2. So here you see that for the first time that he is saying that all the Duryodhans, everybody who never understood, he has shown his ultimate self, ultimate form at various points in time to the best of people in that court. But they have not seen him. They have not given respect to him either. Because just not, if you don't see him, then you're not giving respect to him. That's what he is saying. मेरा जो निरादर कर रहे हैं उस भावना वाले व्यक्ति, वो सब के सब यहाँ मरे हुए हैं. किसका निरादर कर रहे हैं? जो इतना भव्य है, जो सब जगह है, जो सटलेस्ट ऑफ द सटल है, सबका दाता है, सबका विधाता है, तो उसको जो है सब भूल के बैठे हुए हैं. वो अब सबके सब. Okay, and this is the sagun aspect which he is talking about, and he is talking about that which is now the aspect which is going to continue in a sense for a while. So he is moved from that nirgun piece into the sagun piece. So when we look at the sagun piece, he talks about himself as being present in everything, and then he himself says that understand that to be in the nirgun category, without attributes. You saw that happen? Okay, and then he converts that to say that actually it is finally that nirgun only. This manifestation is only to help you realize that nirgun me. Are you getting that point? He comes back to it again and again only to say that. So he is now taking you into the sagun so that you see his Vishal Virat Roop, the manifestation of what he is capable of, only to help you stay focused on him, and pursuing that you will eventually reach that which is Nirgun. Because to understand that Nirgun is extremely difficult. Concept of that which is only Sachidanand Swarupam is very difficult. Shunyata is possible. Shunyata is also very difficult because that is imagined. वास्तव में in reality it will be only Sachidanand Swarup. Because in absence or in total zero state, from there nothing can happen. So there is something there. That something there is that Sachidanand Swarup.
Shunyata means
Absence of everything.
Nothing.
I'm treating it as such.
no thoughts, not
Absence of everything.
every.
Which is what you look at is what Buddha would be saying, Buddha Bhagwan. But that to understand that itself means that there is something to understand that.
It is a relative word. No?
Yes, and you're still trying to. So you have that bliss which is attained at that point in time, which is Sachidanand Swarup, and that's what is therefore referred to as the, the state. Okay, we'll go forward. We'll go to shloka number 12. Oh,
And just when we feel very terrified कि ये हमारी बुद्धि को कभी समझ आएगा या नहीं, we can remember that we have to just surrender and have faith, and that's all. We'll be carried.
that is true. That is true.
जैसे तुमके सहारा चाहिए तो ये याद रखना जरूरी है,
That is true. Very true.
सद्गुण का सहारा.
Huh. But what is it that you have to realize? Through that, you have to realize the name. That is what is Gyan. Okay? So, जो भक्ति है, जो श्रद्धा है, वो ज्ञान पूर्वक होगी, तो आपको मुक्ति होगी. यदि अंधविश्वास वाली श्रद्धा होगी तो उससे कुछ नहीं.
ज्ञान नहीं.
नहीं, शुरू में जो इग्नोरेंट वाली श्रद्धा है उसको पकड़े रखते ये ट्राई करते करते वो
होता है
knowledge
धीरे
वाली
धीरे.
श्रद्धा हो जाएगी.
हाँ, होता है धीरे
उसका
धीरे.
प्रॉमिस है हमें.
हाँ, बताएंगे अभी आगे.
That's his responsibility.
हाँ, that वो बताएंगे अभी.
सद्गुण. He
He
said
has
it in
no,
the
he has no attachment. How can he be responsible?
This is the Sadgul
Sadgul
version.
is responsible. I have to be responsible for
That
myself.
is true, but Sadgul
वहाँ से कुछ
version
नहीं आने
में
वाला.
That
No.
is what is eluding us. That,
Okay, so we go to the shloka number 12.
12. Those persons with false hopes, moghasha,
हाँ, false hopes. Okay, पहली चीज. मोघ आशा. मोघ is false. Asha is hope. Please go ahead.
those persons with false hopes, moghasha, whose hopes and desires are futile, and those who perform actions which are futile, mogha karma, as the sacrificial karmas like havan or yajnas, etc., are fruitless, because they disrespect their atma form Bhagwan.
Because those who are performing these karmas or yajnas, or who are carrying hopes of getting something or whatever, they don't believe in him. They disrespect him. So he's saying all these actions, all these yajnas, all these hopes of such people are totally futile. If you don't know me, understand me, don't have Shraddha in me, then whatever you do is futile. That is flowing from the previous shloka itself by telling that these people are already dead. Okay? So he's carrying forward to saying that. Okay? Please.
Hence, they are performers of false actions. Because their knowledge is futile, it is devoid of fruit. Their knowledge does not lead to any outcome, as they lack in discrimination, vivek
So they don't understand that there is a God, there is Vasudev, there is Atma, various ways, various words we can use for that. And therefore, I am me, my body, and that body is the Atma also, and therefore, everything is me, and therefore, I am the doer, and therefore, their karmas are going to be futile. I will get what I want, their hopes will be futile, and therefore, they are performing and doing wrong things. They are as if they are already dead, right? Please go ahead.
And they tell that Atma and body is the same,
Hmm.
which gives rise to delusion, which supports the nature of monsters and demons.
Yeah. So he says that those who therefore think that the body and Atma is same, they will go on performing actions which are demonic or which are asuri, monster-like. Okay. We'll hear as to what he's saying now.
They speak about breaking, smashing, eating, drinking, plundering others' wealth, and become extremely cruel in their actions.
Correct. So these are the people who will have this sort of characteristics. They will become very cruel. They will not think about others. They will only eat, drink, make merry for themselves, or destroy and kill or whatever else is there in other people.
So they think the body and Atma is one.
Because yeah, because then they are carrying that pride in themselves, and they don't believe that there is an Atma which is separate, and they don't believe that there's a God, and therefore they should be doing the right, and good karmas and bad karmas don't exist in their meaning. They say, I do what I like, even if it is hurting the rest of the people. Okay.
So, how do you distinguish between the Rajasuya Yagya, which Sri Ram also did? So, was that in good faith, whereas somebody
Yeah.
else does it in bad faith?
Yeah.
The Yagya is the same, the process is the same.
The Shraddha which is there in that particular yajna makes all the difference. Chapter 17, last look or something like that. Okay, I'm just giving, so all this will sort of wrap itself up as you go forward. Okay, so they're all there. How that yajna has to be done, what will make sense. Firstly, yajnas, if they're done to attain something which I want, fulfill my desire, that that yajna becomes futile, right? Because you're only looking for that which is material. So like this, it will be expanded upon, and we will understand. Okay.
So, we should come back to this example because it was done by
Correct.
in Ramayana, right?
Correct.
So, what was the logic there?
No, no, there is a immense logic there in the mind itself for that. Okay. Yeah, please.
13.
Yeah.
But who have faith, Shraddha, and are engaged in the path to liberation in the form of devotion to Bhagwan, they, hey Path, those devoted, tolerant, great persons, Mahatma, who renounce cravings, Sham, restrain external tendencies, Dam, have compassion, Daya, faith, Shraddha, etc. They adhere to the divine nature of gods. They worship me with mind focused on Paramatma and I as one. They know me, the eternal imperishable Ishwar, as the primal cause of all beings, with all the five elements and all living beings.
Okay.
Is that God's singular?
So no, it's God's plural because it is being referred to those characteristics which he is talking about. Sham, Dam, Daya, Shraddha. Okay, are attributes of these gods, their divine qualities. Sham is that of restraining your desires, right? Dam is that you're restraining the external senses. Right? That's what's there in the English one. I've got a Hindi thing in front of me, so I'm just remembering it. Okay. Now, Sham, Dam are part of external sadhanas. We read that in Aparokshanubhuti, where we read Sham, Dam, Uprati, Titiksha,
Shraddha, Samadhi.
Samadhan, Shraddha, Samadhan, and Mumukshta. Okay, so it's all lost suddenly, right? And that is being referred to here again in the same sense, in the same meaning. Okay, and Shraddha is very prominent as what we understood. So these are part of the sadhanas which are called Bahirang sadhanas, external sadhanas. Okay, we'll get to more sadhanas as we go along, but they are part of the external sadhanas. So Vivek, Vairagya, two of them, Shamdam, Uprati, Titiksha, Shraddha, Samadhan, and Mumukshta. So if you have any of these, one out of these nine sadhana, you're very good at, you absolutely on top of any one of these nine sadhanas, you will get the others as well. Slowly. It's not so that you will be bereft of the others. If you have Shraddha, only then can you have Vairagya. If you have Shraddha, then you will have almost the rest of them in any case. You can't say which one you have, which one you don't have. If you have Vivek, everything else will also be there. Okay? They're all related. One cannot move without the other. Some part of the other will also be there with the one which is prominent. So what we say that Vivek could be very important to somebody like me who is more logical. And there could be something else which is very important to somebody else. For example, Shraddha, who is more in faith. For the third person, it could be withdrawal of senses, which is for, let's say, a yogi. You do Patanjali Yoga. You do Pratyahar. Okay? I'm just giving you examples. Okay? So, like this, there will be various ways by which you can practice, and each of these nine aspects are sometimes being focused on by one practice. Okay? Please go on. This is
14. How do they worship me or serve me? Those devotees with strong convictions, meaning with steadfast convictions, such devotees always incessantly glorify me.
Okay,
The
so
Bhagwan.
first is that, well, he has spoken about that this is what Bhagwan is and this is what I am. And those who do not understand me, they are lying dead. They are, their actions are totally futile. And then he comes back to say that those who are practicing it in this fashion, Shraddha yukt hokar, sham dam, दया और श्रद्धा से जो है वो डिवाइन क्वालिटीज को परस्यू करते हैं, दे आर एबल टू अटेन मी, राइट? नाउ ही सेज हाउ डू दे वर्शिप? Okay, how will I worship that Bhagwan? That is the question which is being asked, and he's answering that in this particular shloka. Please.
Such devotees always incessantly glorify me, the Bhagwan whose essence is Brahman.
So he is saying that they glorify me, that whose essence is Brahma. Okay, so he is not asking you to only glorify and remember that Vasudev or Hanuman or Devi or Devta, but he is saying whose essence, that Devta's essence is also Brahma. Please go ahead.
They make effort and cultivate virtues like withdrawal of senses, renouncing of desires, restraining of external tendencies, kindness and non-violence, etc. They prostrate and worship me, the Paramatma, who resides in the heart, always meditating on me with devotion, serving me.
Yeah. So in this way, you have to worship him with devotion, with seeing him as within your own heart, that one Paramatma which is it by itself. Okay, it is done by the practices of Sham, Dam, Daya, what is being given here, Ahimsa, etc. Okay. In terms of your own practice, in terms of your behavioral aspects as well. Okay. But eventually you have to prostrate before him who which is within your own self. Okay, so whilst external manifestations are there, but eventually to lead back to your own self, where which is residing in you, which is that Paramatma to which you are actually bowing to. Right? This is the way to worship him. Let's read the next one.
In which ways do they worship or serve me?
So, in which ways? First is how do you worship him, and which ways now? So, similar.
Some wise persons, leaving other forms of worship and by performing Gyan Yajnas with the object as Bhagwan, meaning Supreme Brahma and Paramatma are one. With this single minded devotion in the form of oneness of the ultimate supreme knowledge, they worship me.
Yeah. So, this is that explanation which I've given, right? In the italics.
So, this is the supreme worship of Bhagwan, and then
So, this is the first one.
devotees.
So there's
Such
some
devotees,
people,
sorry,
some
yeah.
people, some devotees who worship me like this. This is the, let's say, the most superior practice. How do they worship him? Can you read that again? The first line.
Okay. Some wise persons leaving
They
other
are wise
forms of worship
persons. Okay, so they are
and,
almost there in terms of realizing that Ishwar. Okay, please go ahead.
and by performing Dhyan Yajnas with the object as Bhagwan, meaning Supreme Brahma and Paramatma are one. With this single minded devotion in the form of oneness of the ultimate supreme knowledge, they worship me. This
Yeah.
is the supreme worship of Bhagwan.
Yeah.
Such devotees worship me by listening and contemplating Shravan Manan alone.
So this is the practice of Shravanam and Mananam. Shravan is listening, Manan is contemplating. Okay. Just by listening, and I talked about it earlier, repetitively reading, repetitively listening, and therefore after that doing vichar, mananam, contemplation. That practice is very, very superior. What do you contemplate on? On that which is Brahma, which
It's
is,
like meditation, in other words.
I don't want to use the word meditation because earlier we have used the term in chapter 6. So in meditation, what do? We meditate on something. And that meditation is therefore that something becomes dual. Okay, it becomes sagun. And therefore I'm veering away from using it, but it is a possibility that I could be meditating or contemplating on that one. Now we use the word om also, but that om also becomes another dual. Okay. Therefore it is only about understanding that who I am with all that which has been written as principles and by contemplating on them. Okay, that is what is being said. That is saying that Supreme Brahma and Paramatma are one, and I am that Paramatma. I am that Brahma. Only contemplating on that itself. Okay,
They negate the perception of the appearance of Paramatma in everything in this world, and they steadfastly confirm the presence of that which is perceived in the heart in the form of Sachidananda.
okay.
Satchidananda.
So they only contemplate on that which is staying in your heart, which is Sachidanand, saying that all that which is appearing in this world is just perception. Okay? So this is one way to worship him. It is worship. It is serving him, he says. Okay? Please.
And some worship me in separate ways. meaning in different sun, moon, etc. They worship me. They believe that Vishnu Bhagwan is based in the form of sun, moon, etc.
ठीक है, हम लोग समझते हैं ये तो कि हम कहते हैं कि भगवान जो है उसमें सूर्य में है। क्या कह रहे हैं?
उसमें शामिल है।
हाँ, उसमें ही है, हम उसको कर रहे हैं, हम पेड़ की पूजा करते हैं और कहते हैं कि उसमें विष्णु है, उसमें इंद्र है, उसमें इंद्र में भी विष्णु है, किसी में शिव है, शिव कोई हम शिव की मूर्ति या जो भी देखते हैं, शिवलिंग देखते हैं तो उसमें शिव है, उस प्रकार से हम उसको समझ के करते हैं। I have actually made a mistake just now in my sentence which I have spoken, and I'll correct it a little later because the next statement will make me correct it. So I'll just, I'm not, okay.
I'll read it. That which is the cause of this universe, that itself one Paramatma is based as sun, moon, Indra, Ganesh, etc. in different aspects. In all things, they only see the one Sachidananda.
So in all the things which we are seeing externally, all the gods, all the forms, all the sun, moon, Ganesh, Ganpati, whatever, we are perceiving that one Paramatma alone, Sachidanand Swarup Paramatma alone. So this is the way some devotees worship. Okay, then let's look at the third one.
And there are many devotees who believe that the one with faces in all directions, Vishwamurti, the Bhagwan in the form of universe, is based in various forms. They worship that universal form in various ways.
So now this one says that I worship everything because everything is in the form of Paramatma. Now, is that different from saying that in sun, moon, etc., there is only one? Here I see many, and in all of them, then I say that there are many gods, and then I say that there is one God. Let me read this again. And there are many devotees who believe that the one with faces in all directions, the Bhagwan in the form of universe, is based in various forms. Okay, not that in sun there is Paramatma, in moon there is a Paramatma, but he is now based in all the forms. Okay, so now you're diluting it. You may also say, please read.
Then some people understand that Bhagwan in many forms is present in everything. Removing the superimposed form from that which is the truth, consciousness, or bliss, they see only that.
So then this is the third way that every time I see something, I see a form and I say this form is actually that Paramatma itself. And through that particular thought, I am desuperimposing that form and only looking at that, which is the Paramatma itself. Okay, that's the third way to worship. Right.
Then, if devotees worship you in many ways, then how can it be said that they worship you alone?
How can you say that they are worshipping you alone? जब इतनी तरह से इतने लोग और इतनी चीज़ों का वो वर्शिप करते हैं, तो how do they say? So I have written a small line by myself which will explain what is the question. Okay, yeah, please read.
When we see Sachidananda in the sun, that is worship of the sun.
Hmm.
When we see Sachidananda in Vishnu, we worship Vishnu. In all forms, when we see Sachidananda, we worship that form.
Right, so in that sense, we are worshipping that form and we are not worshipping that which is the ultimate. So, how can it be said that they worship you alone? Because we want to worship that one alone, but here there are many forms in which we are being told to worship that which is to be worshipped. And we worship that sun, we worship that Ganpati, we worship that Shiva or Vishnu, right? And therefore, how is it that we are worshipping you alone? That is the question, pertinent question, because this will come up in your mind. Okay? On this he says, please read.
16. Kratu. I am that complex Vedic rite, Yajna. Also, I am the sacrificial Yajna given in the Smriti text. I am the offering of food made to the ancestral spirits, Pitri, that which is eaten by all human beings, that medicinal herb, Aushad, is also me. Or understand, food eaten by human beings is Swada,
Swadha.
Swada, and that which destroys disease, that is medicine, Aushadhi. I am that mantra with which offerings are made to gods and spirits. Other than that, I am the offered ghee in which the offering is made. That fire is also me, and I am also the karma in the form of Havan, by which, with which, in which, of which the Havan is done. All those things and karmas are me only.
So, all those things, if you understand, are me only. Then the question was what? The question is the how do they worship you alone? Right? So if you understand that everything which is being put in the yajna, for example, has been taken that of a yajna, everything is that which is me. Okay? Then you are able to worship me alone. Please read the next one.
I, the creator of this universe, is the father and the one giving birth, the mother. And I govern the outcomes of the fruits, sustainer, and the father of the father, grandfather, Pitamaha, and the object of knowledge, which purifies, Omkar, Om, Rig, Sam, Yajur, and Atharva Veda. I am everything.
So if you understand me like this, then you are worshipping me alone. Okay? Please.
And that which has to be understood, that thing, that which purifies, such virtuous karmas which are means to purification, and that purity is me alone. That to be known Brahma, to know that the path is Omkar, and that which tells about the true nature of Brahma and his glory, those Vedas also I am.
Yeah. So this is just clarifying that the important thing to understand here that in this particular world, in this universe, in our existence, there is there are three things which happen. There has to be a doer, there has to be action, and there has to be an outcome. So this world consists of constantly these three things. So here we read that which purifies, which is virtuous karmas, which are means to purification by itself, okay, and that which is purity. Okay, so the performer of the action, which is virtuous karmas, and the purification which happens, and the purity are all in that state of three things. Isko we say that as triputi. Triputi. Okay, the nature of existence is always in three things. In all these three things, that ultimate Brahma exists.
Which are the three, sorry, the
The
things?
doer, the action by itself, and the outcome. So if you take it in the context of a yajna, all the things which are there, which have been explained here, the person who is performing, the ghee is putting, the other havi he is offering, the fire,
The
the
purifier, the purification process,
yeah,
and the purity.
purity. And the outcome of that particular havan. All that, if you understand to be that ultimate Brahma, then you are genuinely worshipping Him. And we will proceed with this in terms of understanding how else we can worship Him and go on to understanding things which are to be followed. Okay? So we have gone through an aspect where he is not in us and we are not in it, but he exists, he is the creator, but he is not the doer.
He exists in everything.
But he is
He's
a
all,
sustainer.
huh?
But
He
he
is
is a
sustainer.
He exists in everything.
Yeah. No, he doesn't exist in everything in that sense, but he's all pervasive.
Hasn't he
That's what
also?
Yeah, I
He
understand.
said he's in this, he's in that.
Yeah,
he was
but
saying.
he's saying that to say that
He's all over
you
there.
believe, you should think that I am in this, I am in this, I am in this. In that way, you worship me. That is a way to worship.
Has he not also alluded to being the destroyer?
He has.
Because he's saying that if you
Yeah.
don't respect me, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're gone.
All your
Symbolic
karmas
death.
will be basically, therefore, not yielding anything positive for you.
So, in a sense, in these things, he has demolished the smaller gods, but they are only means to get to me.
Not
If you
demolished.
have-
Therefore, he
in
is.
that sense, in a
But they're
different
part
sense.
of me, or
Yeah,
I
they
don't
are
know.
only
There are
agents.
parts to.
They are my
Yeah.
agents.